snap that time, and the punt doesn't even get across the 40-yard line for Spring Garden. Reese Winstead did an outstanding job of just fielding that low snap and getting any sort of punt off.
Absolutely. It was a one-hopper.
So 40 seconds to go. This is going to be the final offensive possession of the night, more than likely for either team. As Cedar Bluff will take over from their own 37-yard line. A big, big thanks to the folks here at the city of Cedar Bluff for hosting us for our first ever trip here north of the shores of Weiss Lake. And a big thanks to Jennifer Runnels, the town clerk and magistrate here in Cedar Bluff, for joining us at halftime. Always a nice trip coming up to this part of the state of Alabama, especially once you get into the fall months, late September and then into October. Still a few more weeks until you start to see the leaves change around here. But obviously, as far as just with as many recreational opportunities there are across the state when it comes to the various lakes like Martin, Logan Martin, Smith Lake, among the more recognizable names. So when you talk about Weiss Lake, Coach, I mean, you come up here and you really recognize just how beautiful it is, kind of tucked away it is from the rest of the state up here. So 40 seconds left until we put a bow on tonight's ball game. So Pack will roll out to the near side, and he's going to throw, and that's going to short hop his intended receiver, Beatty, incomplete. So the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. 3 total touchdowns for Chapel Pope, 2 rushing touchdowns for Connor Bates, and a touchdown pass as well from Barber to Cameron Welsh have accounted for all of the touchdowns tonight for Spring Garden. Cedar Bluff has 1 touchdown, a 69-yard bomb from Pack to Aiden Green. So here comes the carry to the near side. As that's going to advance the ball inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line, we'll call it.
Number 33 down to the...
So that will be one of, well, not quite the final plays. There's still 25 seconds to go, and that play also good enough for a first down. Hayden Tucker on the call. As here's the snap and the give off the left side. Looks like McFry getting the carry inside the 20 to the 15-yard line, as that takes the clock down to 13 seconds. Maybe 2 more plays left in tonight's ball game, as this could possibly be the final play as the snap gets behind the quarterback. As a broken play, looks like the backup in the ball game is rounding the corner and going into the end zone will be Hunter Stallings for the touchdown with 1 second to go in the game. And they'll go ahead and just tick that 1 second off, call it a game, as the touchdown will be the final play of the ball game. And so your final score will be Spring Garden 41. As there you see Hunter Stallings putting it in for 6 to give the second touchdown and final touchdown of the night for Cedar Bluff. So 41-12 is your final, as we'll begin our post game after this timeout.
Did you know Kona Ice can help you fundraise for your school? It's true. It's quick, it's easy, and the kids absolutely love having Kona Ice. We'll let you in on a little secret. Teachers love it too. So, how can we help you fundraise this year? It's quick, it's easy, the kids love it, and teachers love it too.
Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA.
Hey, who are you?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm a car thief.
What?
I'm here to steal your car because, well, that's my job.
What?
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 It happens. So get all stake. I'd be better protected from mayhem, like me.
PCA Insurance is an independent insurance agency located in Piedmont, serving the cities of Piedmont Center, Hokes Bluff, Jacksonville, Collinsville, Gadsden, Anniston, Cave Springs, and Oxford.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
James Hardy, along with Coach Eddie Bullock and Amelia Tucker, with you from Cedar Bluff, as the Cedar Bluff players, cheerleaders, and coaches standing in front of their fans as far as their school's alma mater after falling by a score of 41-12 tonight to rival Spring Garden. James Hardy with you once again as we're awaiting our post-game conversation with Amelia Tucker and most likely the winning head coach Jason Howard for Spring Garden and possibly one of his players. But just to kind of give you an idea as far as after tonight's ball game, the second consecutive loss in as many weeks for Cedar Bluff drops them to 3-3 overall, but they're still 2-1 in Class 1A Region 7, and for Spring Garden, they improved to 5-1 overall, and they also remain at 2-1 in Class 1A Region 6. Next week, Spring Garden will remain on the road at Talladega County Central, what will be their second of a 3-game road swing. And then first road game next week in region play and on the season, actually, for Cedar Bluff, as they'll make a short trip to Valley Head next week for their first road game of the season. We're still waiting for head coach Jason Howard, I believe, for Spring Garden. But let's remind you, as far as Tuesday night, our FNN Coaches Show from Strut Swings in Oxford, where we will reward our Player of the Week for this week, as well as preview a big matchup for our next FNN Game of the Week, Anniston against Handley from Memorial Stadium in the heart of Anniston. While we're awaiting Amelia Tucker and Coach Jason Howard, as I think they've got Coach Jason Howard coming over to our Amelia Tucker, as we'll get them situated here in just a moment. But big nights on the ground for Connor Bates, as he had a couple of touchdowns and three total touchdowns tonight for quarterback Chapel Pope after scoring a couple last week against Winterboro. And I believe we have head coach Jason Howard with our Amelia Tucker, and we'll send it down to Amelia Tucker with Jason Howard.
Coach Howard, your team played really consistently tonight. It was a great game. What are your thoughts?
I was proud of them for coming over here. Cedar Bluff's always got a great team. They do a good job. They're well coached. They got good kids here. They're going to always play hard. And I was proud that our kids came out and played hard and was able to focus.
Definitely. What do you think were the key plays and your key players in this game?
Offensive line played well. Defensive line played well. Our defense is pretty solid all the way through, so felt like the defense continued to play well. And like I said, our offensive line took control of the game, I thought.
Good job, Coach. Thank you for your time.
I'll tell you what, man, a few words there, but I think Coach Howard, Eddie, did kind of sum it up as far as the offensive line and also his key players as far as their difference makers in the W tonight.
Well, just domination at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
And there you have it, as we'll go ahead and send it off for this Friday night. The City of Cedar Bluff presenting our FNN Game of the Week in our first trip here in Cedar Bluff for our FNN Game of the Week. So we sign off from LD Bruce Field, as there you see all the folks that make it happen behind the scenes, as a big thanks to all of our FNN crew, and as well to Jim Jacobs in the trailer heading all this the whole operation up, as well as Amelia Tucker on the sideline, and of course Eddie Bullock here in the booth alongside me. And so for all of our fine folks, James Hardy wishing you a good Friday night and a happy weekend as Spring Garden takes care of Cedar Bluff 41-12.
And a good Tuesday evening live from Strutt's Wings here in Oxford, just off Highway 78 across from the Quintard Mall. It is time for another 90 minutes of the FNN Tuesday night high school football coaches show. Jim Jacobs here where I'm supposed to be. James Hardy over here where he's supposed to be. But you'll notice to my right, the chair is empty. And that's because Joe Medley, who is usually with us as our member of our threesome here every Tuesday, is up at the football stadium at Jacksonville State University for a football game on a Tuesday night. Go figure.
A Tuesday night
ESPN college
special
football game, yeah. But we, for those that are watching us instead of watching the JSU game on ESPN, the score is 7-0. The Gamecocks are up, drove it in, PAT good, and we'll try to keep you updated on the score until we go off, and hopefully you'll stay with us because we have one heck of a jam-packed show for you tonight. We'll tell you about that coming up in just a minute, but James, this past Friday night, obviously we saw a head knocker over at Southside. The Leeds Green Wave coming in, number 6 in the state in Class 5A. Only lost to Mortimer Jordan in week 0. Southside not getting any respect from the Riders. We'll see how that turns out tomorrow after the big win over Leeds this past Friday. But the Panthers also one loss that they lost to Gunnersville on the road to kick off their season. But I got to tell you, I was really impressed with Southside.
I was too, and not just as far as their win Friday, but just what they've had to fight through, especially losing their star quarterback, all-time great as far as Southside football history. And really, I tell you what, when you look at the job Jordan Bryan did in our game Friday, he managed the game, but also something as far as game managing that can get overlooked a bit. Miles Holcomb may have did as good of a job as he's ever done managing that game. And you look at the key throws that Bryan made, but just how well and how physical that Southside defense played, that was a breakthrough win, and I'm really interested as far as seeing how Southside's program develops off of this win.
Well, we're trying to get the ticket punch to get over to Moody on the 27th for the meeting between the Blue Devils and Southside. Of course, next Friday night, we've got the battle for the belt when Leeds and Moody hook up in the Battle of 411. That is next Friday night here on FNN. The 411 boys and the Leeds Green Wave, and no love lost at all. About, what, a mile and a half separate them? It's nothing more than a bridge and an interstate.
You could probably just shoot like a bazooka from Leeds to Moody and pretty much get there on the fly.
And somebody's going to get the belt when the night is over after we finish up over at Homer Smiles next Friday. But again, we're getting to the point in the season, James, where we're starting to knock down playoff possibilities. And, here's 2 teams you see on the screen right there. This is where we will be Friday. First ever trip to Coosa Christian. The Conquerors coming off a slap from the AHSAA that they're still not happy about.
Yeah.
Cedar Bluff coming to town. They're going to be the recipients of, whatever wrath Coach O'Brien can throw their way. We're looking forward to going over to Coosa Christian Friday night for a 1A Region 7 matchup between the Tigers and the Conquerors.
Yeah, it should be very interesting as far as, of course, when you talk about what we do, a lot of it, especially good broadcasting, involves storylines. And so this is kind of a little unique twist, especially with what's happened off the field with Coosa Christian, as far as, at least for us, getting to see how they respond as far as on the field to some off-the-field adversity early in the season.
Well, everybody's heard about the problem that Pell City had last week, but Coosa Christian got it the week before with an ineligible transfer, and they had to forfeit all their wins. This is a team, James, that a lot of people think can compete out of 1A North for a state championship.
And really, you look at this is also, let's not forget, this is a team that almost got to the state championship game in Class 1A last year.
Went all the way to the semifinals.
That's right. So, obviously, it's a program that has successful now postseason experience under Coach Mark O'Brien. So, certainly, you look at, I'm interested to see how hungry and just how much of a chip on the shoulder that this team and really that this program has. and how much that this galvanizes them going forward.
Well, we have a jam-packed show for you tonight, and if we don't get to it, we're going to leave somebody short, so let's not do that. Got a couple of guys from the East Alabama Officials Association joining us tonight. We've got David Cadle with us and
Marcus Wood.
Marcus, the chief of police up in Jacksonville. David, a teacher at Jacksonville High School. Coach Rob's in the house, and all we have to do is put a headset on him and do this. And we'll be good for 20 minutes because he can talk the ears off a rabbit. All right, also joining us, some folks we really like, Coach Larry Davidson and his wife Connie. They're here to talk about the event coming up at the school where they're going to do a public showing, I think, of the new facility. I think that's this Sunday. I'll get Coach Davidson to clear that up for us. And, of course, his wife Connie is over the Beyond the Bleachers group, which is a coaches' wives group here in our area. That is basically a support group, and that's really good. And then, of course, an audible we pulled at the last second. Coach Dana Bryant is here with members of the Pleasant Valley volleyball team that won the Calhoun County tournament last night up at Pete Matthews Coliseum at JSU. And we're going to talk with Coach Bryant and a couple of her girls here this evening as well. So lots to get to. Let us grab a break, and we will be right back with our first segment coming up here on the Tuesday Night High School Football Coaches Show live from Struts in Oxford. Stay with us.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The FNN Coaches Show from Struts Wings here in Oxford continues on this Tuesday evening. James Hardy with you. We appreciate you for joining us here on FNN and putting a little twist as far as what we usually do here on the FNN Coaches Show. We'll have Coach Mike Robertson and a couple of his players from Hokes Bluff later on, but we're going to talk to at least as far as some valuable folks when it comes to each and every high school football Friday, and those are the men in the zebra outfit, as I like to call it, every Friday evening, as far as our two gentlemen from the East Alabama Football Officials Association. And we have David Cadle off to my left and Marcus Wood off to my right. Thank you, both of you, for joining us.
Good to be here.
And just as far as we'll start with you, David, just kind of give our folks a little bit of an idea as far as just your background, as far as you personally, but also as far as your history of officiating in this state.
Sure. I played football from 5th grade all through college, so that was my introduction to the sport. I took some years away from the game, but became a school teacher, still am teaching chemistry and physics at Jacksonville High School. 10 years ago, a good friend of mine, Stan Beatty, approached me about doing this, and I went to one meeting, and I was hooked. I walked in, and they were watching film and studying rules, and I started taking notes, and I hadn't looked back since. So I've been hooked on it ever since.
And then, Marcus, just kind of give us a quick little synopsis as far as your background, but also what got you into officiating.
Same thing as David. I played in high school and really enjoyed the game. Right after high school, I concentrated on refereeing basketball. And then later on, I decided it was time to get back around at a football game, and I got into it. It's pretty enjoyable. I started liking it and stuck with it and, just try to get better at it.
And then how long have y'all known each other?
At least 10 years.
Yeah, it's probably 10 years. Yeah.
At least.
So back to you, Marcus. What does officiating mean to you, being able to at least suit up, have that referee whistle, that officiating whistle, and be able to go out onto the football field every Friday night?
Officiating for me kind of mixes along with what my career is as a police officer on adjudicating laws and that kind of thing. But same thing as a referee, keeping the game fair and equal and just making sure the rules of the game are followed by, each participant in competition. But it also allows me to be around the game and see athletes and, having young boys that growing up and seeing those guys and being around, just some of those kids that I know from the community gives me an opportunity to kind of interact with them and also be a part of the community in that aspect as well.
And I know you have, obviously, as the chief of police for the city of Jacksonville, obviously a big role as far as the community, and you mentioned as far as being kind of tied in with the community. How has being an official kind of, I guess, helped you as far as your day job when it comes to the city of Jacksonville?
Well, I think my day job helps me in officiating and conflict resolution. A lot of times having to explain stuff to coaches who are emotional is sort of the kind of thing I have to do every day. So I think having, that keyword, what they say, de-escalation in those games and times where coaches are, at the highs emotionally, being able to bring them down and be able to have that conversation with them and explain stuff to them is really key, and I think in what we do, so I'm able to do that.
And then, David, I know y'all both been at as far as the officiating circuit for a while now. What are kind of describe as far as the journey, as far as some of the lessons you've learned as far as just being an official?
To start with, the lessons you learn, you start with the rules, and everybody thinks that that's all you have to know. But there's so much more to it. There's what we call our mechanics, where we line up, what we look at, what we signal. But what I really had to learn through officiating to get better at it was when those rules should be applied, when they should not, when you can do it with a flag or not with a flag. So that gets into our philosophies and our judgment and those things that you develop over time. It takes years and years and a lot of practice. So that's things that really change from when you get started, because I can give a guy a rule book, and if he wants to, he can get in it in a few months. He can know most of the rules, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of development. And that's the thing that I've grown with over the years.
And I guess how has being a teacher helped you be a better official, or even vice versa, as far as some of the lessons you've learned about being an official helped you in the classroom?
Kind of, there's, like Mark was saying, it would work both ways, but 20 years as a high school teacher working with teenagers, that was not, that was something I was accustomed to. Other people are. Some people are not as comfortable around teenage boys, especially teenage boys that might get out of line sometimes. And I was used to that from my day job, and just knew what to expect from, just teenage behavior, and then kind of correlate that with having played the game myself, and I was, pretty comfortable out there. So.
And then I know you've also, or at least I guess you are, as far as involved in instruction,
yes,
as far
yes.
as the officials we see each and every Friday night. How
yes.
rewarding is that to be able for you to kind of pass down what you know as far as maybe some of the tricks of the trade into the next wave of officials?
Yeah, very rewarding, just like teaching school. Just to see someone who's willing to learn and willing to take the time, and then you pour a little of your time in with that, and to see them develop as officials, it's extremely rewarding. And we have numerous guys that I've seen grow from brand new to being playoff officials, even finals officials, and getting to work with them. And my point in my career now, that's bigger. It's a bigger deal for me to see a new official advance than myself advance. I've done all the things. So it's now to me more about how many other people can we get to the higher levels And we have guys that are going on to college and things, and it's really rewarding to know that I might have played a little part in that, helping them study film and learn rules.
And I know we've been hearing the last few years as far as just the need of recruiting more officials really at all levels.
Yes.
Is that still the case?
Still the case. It was very tight pre-COVID. The COVID season, especially the one season that we didn't know if we were playing or not, really hurt the numbers. The numbers are slowly coming back, but we're still not at pre-COVID numbers. And we're still playing the same number of ball games every Friday night as we always have. And so it's very tight. The guys that work as assigners for our associations, they have a very tough job of making sure there's a name in every position that's got to work.
And then, Marcus, kind of give us an idea for the folks out there, what goes into making a top-level official?
So I think, first of all, you know, sort of what David said is giving a guy a rule book and hoping, that official goes out and read those rules. But just as we read rules, sort of we talk about the game of football and being a football guy. Most people wouldn't believe that most officials who wants to get better not only read rules, we talk about philosophy, but we also watch game film. For those who want to get better, that is a large part of our game, is getting game film, learning not only teams but what mechanics are, how we teach other officials what to look at. For an example, we can tell you, hey, you should be looking at person X. And if person X does this, then we expect for that team's offense to do this. But when you can look at film and say, hey, if this tackle, either pulls or he steps out or, whatever that case may be, then it's probably going to be a run play. But if this tackle does this, then it's probably going to be a pass play. And then I think that just helps officials pick up what keys are, know what they're supposed to be looking at, and help better officiate the game. But I think when guys are able to do that, they're able to study that, and week in, week out, and I'm sure David does the same thing. But, sort of in our pregame thing and getting ready for Friday nights is, we get our assignments on Sunday, then we're going on Huddle or whatever kind of, video stuff. We got YouTube. We're going on those things or, FNN site, going in those areas to try to see what game film we can see. And I think for officials, if we can know, who's the best player on the team, who's their key, what their tendencies are, what they like to do if they're a run team, pass team. We just want to look at those things, what defensive things they are, because, like I said, I'm a football IQ guy, so I want to see what those things are. So when I see them as in the game, then I know, hey, it's 2nd and 5. What I saw them do last week, they're going to, pass here. So we see those tendencies, and it help us prepare, know what we're facing, and be prepared to call those things in a game that we need to call.
And then, Marcus, you mentioned the game prep as far as each and every week. I'm curious as well as far as getting ready for the season and the preseason, the physical conditioning necessary to be in shape physically for when it's the preseason for an upcoming season.
I think, in my opinion, refereeing or officiating football or any sport for that matter, it can be, very hard on the body, especially if you're a person who calls a Monday, Tuesday, junior high JV game, and then you're calling on Friday nights. What I say within a 5-man, people don't, in a 5-man crew, you do a lot more because you don't have as many people in a crew. But you have to, I believe, you have to be able to stay one step ahead of what the players are doing. And if you're waiting to the season to try to get in shape during the season, then I think you're a step behind. And coaches and players and administrators and fans, they expect officials to be in the right place at the right time to make the best call we can. And if you're not in shape or you're lagging behind or it's the fourth quarter where you should be your best and you're not at your best because you're, physique or you're tired or you can't focus because you're focusing on, not being in the best shape you are, then I think that's a disservice to the players and the people we're supposed to be serving when we're calling those games.
And, David, kind of talk about as well the type of evaluation, especially during the season, that you may do as far as the crop of officials that we see every week.
Well, we request film from every game that we call, and we hope coaches share that. And if any coach is listening, please share film. That's always that's our number one, as Marcus was saying, that's our number one training tool and number one learning tool. So we take that film and we look at it, and then we look at every single play. We look at what was called, what was not called, should it have been called, should it not have been called, and we categorize it like that. Then we share that back with the guys that were on the crew, and then we share it with our entire association so everybody can watch multiple games a week. And then once a week, most weeks we have a virtual online training session. Sometimes we go meet face-to-face. But just for convenience sake, we use modern technology and have an online meeting. And then we review key plays that were good learning examples for us, unusual things that happened. And we'll talk about various rules and mechanics that come up during the week. But we do that on a weekly basis. And then I'm always open for questions. Our guys text, email, call me almost daily with something about they've seen in a college game or a pro game or a junior high game that happened, and all good learning tools, and we talk, discuss continually. But film is our number one thing, and we watch that, and every official is seen on film. We don't do a formal paper evaluation, but they get to see what they called and didn't call and the mistakes they made and the things that they do right, and everybody gets to learn from everybody. And it works pretty well.
Something I'm also curious about, because, of course, when it comes to how competitive high school football is around this state, a lot of things can be said maybe that you don't want to hear, whether it's from the coaches, maybe a player, certainly from the folks in the stands. How thick of a skin do you have to have as far as being able to get that whistle and go out and officiate a game?
Yeah, you've got to block a lot out. We block out, and we love fans, and we're glad there's fans at the games, but that we tune that out. Like when you start yelling at me from the stadium, I'm not hearing it. But coaches and players, and there's a time and a place for head coach to question what we're doing, and we try to be good communicators, and we try to explain why we did or didn't do something. And players just need to play, but coaches we can talk to, and we do talk to. We try to work at that. And as long as nobody gets personal and, doesn't get profane or anything like that, then it's fine. We have a lot of conversations. And football is a very emotional game, and it was when I played, and it should still be now. So we understand the time and place of when coaches and players are going to be very emotional. And that's part of what you learn as an official is when that's going to happen, and when to know to give them a little room to vent. And then when it's not appropriate, and when this is not the time and place to be overly loud, but there's a time and a place for it. Football is emotional, and people should be excited, and people should be upset when things don't go their way, and we have to, as officials, we have to understand the flow of the game, and that Marcus said football IQ is part of football IQ, just understanding when it's appropriate to be a little upset, and then when it's not. So.
And then I want to ask both of you, because I think both of y'all have had officiating experience as far as the state championship, the Super Six, in your past. And we'll start with you, Marcus. What's it like to be able to have that honor of being able to officiate in a state championship game?
First I'll say that getting that call, during that time, when playoffs are right in the middle of playoffs and getting that call, it's a very humbling experience, but it's also very rewarding knowing that, all of those things that they've asked you to do, all the games that you call, at somewhere doing that, Cato talking about those evaluations, somebody looked at your body of work and said, hey, that guy does a very, very good job, and where he may not always be right when, in those times, he's more right than he is wrong. And so having that kind of rewarding experience and being able to do that, I think is a very, very rewarding thing, enjoyable. I enjoyed, calling in Super 7 the 2 times that I have. But I think it's just kind of surreal, and it's a very good experience. Not many people get to go and be on the fields at places like Auburn and Alabama. My both Super 7s that I had, one was at Auburn, one was at Alabama. So that was very enjoyable, being able to go and kind of see behind the scenes in those 2 stadiums. What you see the officials do on Saturdays, and in those SEC stadiums, that kind of thing. But very, very, very good experience. I look forward to going back if I'm chosen. But, like Cato said earlier, now it's kind of, I've been to the top of the mountain. So for me, it's now helping other guys get to that point and be able to experience that. So, it's pretty important and allowing them to help, kind of feel that same emotion.
Very nice. And David, same to you. Is there also maybe a memorable game as far as the state championship game that you've been able to officiate?
That's probably the easiest question you've asked me. The Auburn-Thompson game, that's been 3 years ago now, that ended in such a wild manner. Auburn was up 2 scores with 30 seconds to go and had the ball and managed to lose the game. And I was the headlinesman on that game, and nobody saw that coming. And when that last 30 seconds was over and Thompson had scored twice and won the game, I distinctly remember running off the field thinking, I hope we didn't do anything wrong, because I think we've just witnessed something that's never going to be seen again at the championship level, and I hope we got it right at least. So.
Well, David, Cato, Marcus Wood, we really appreciate both of you joining us and telling us as far as the officiating story when it comes to Friday nights.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
More of the FNN Coaches Show from Struts Wings in Oxford coming up next.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
A lot of people always wonder, how does your first-time buyers program work? Hey, I'm here to tell you that we do bad credit, good credit, even no credit at all. I even got down payments as low as $500, even got cards as low as $169 a month. So stop by, let's check it out. Let's see if we can get you approved today. Come by at 411 East Street North, Talladega, Alabama, 35160. Telephone number 205-332-7993. Let's come get you a bill deal.
And welcome back to Struts Wings here in Oxford, Tuesday night FNN High School Football Coaches Show. Jim Jacobs, James Hardy, and to my right, one of our favorites, Coach Rob, Mike Robertson from the Hokes Bluff community and the Hokes Bluff Eagles.
Well, thank you for the invite, and the food was great, by the way.
Yeah, what'd you have?
I had wings.
Yeah.
And,
what's your flavor, Coach?
Well, I got the West wings, the dry rub, I guess they call it. I don't know, but I appreciate the kind words there.
Yeah, hey, always. You know, you're one of our buddies. You and Scott up there, and the whole Hokes Bluff community. I mean, we go to a lot of places doing what we do, Coach, and I can honestly say we're never more welcomed anywhere than we are when we come to Hokes Bluff.
Well, I appreciate that. We've got a great community. You've been a part of it since 1971, and very proud to say that.
Yep, since dirt.
Yes,
There's dirt up there. You're older than.
Yeah, probably so. But I appreciate that, and just Mr. Calhoun and our whole school is just tremendous. It is. That's why I'm still doing it. I guess everybody asks me, when am I going to retire? Then
don't steal all my questions now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But anyway, we do have a great place.
Yes, you do. All right, let's talk about your season a little bit. Started out really rough. Southside roughed your kids up. Sure. I'm sure you weren't too sure where you stood after that night, and then it's just kind of all fallen in place so far.
Well, we've definitely improved, but as I mentioned to you earlier talking, Southside's a pretty good team, so we got a good test early, but we have made some improvements. Obviously, starting with our quarterback, Bryce, his 10th grader, first year to really start at quarterback, and then everything else has kind of fell in line. Our offensive and defensive lines have played tremendous, but we're pretty happy to be 4-2. You know, Geraldine got us, but they're pretty good too. But I think we've won the games. I feel like that you got to win in the region, but our region's pretty tough. So
no kidding.
Still got a rough road to go, Jim. We do.
Would you say, as far as your region, maybe the most balanced region in the entire state?
Maybe from top to bottom. I still feel like there's a couple at the top. Sylvania and Geraldine obviously shown that so far. They did last year, and then there's about, I guess the rest of us are behind them a little bit, and it's going to be all the way to the last game of the season before we really know who will make the playoffs.
And it might come down to some of them tiebreakers.
Oh,
and
Lord, yes,
of course,
sir.
You don't have nothing with the Southside game, but you got Sardis at the end of the year, and they're playing pretty good right now, Coach.
They are. I don't know who made this schedule out. They're trying to get me fired. I'm trying to fire myself.
Some old guy, I know.
We did. But Sardis is a county school. They are a bigger. All three of our non-region games are 5A and 4As, and probably Southside will be 6A next year, and maybe Sardis. You don't know. But
well, Coach, we got the schedule up on the screen right there for everybody watching at home, and obviously you got Ohatchee. Don't know what you're going to really get there Friday night. I mean, you're going to get a physical team that is doing things a little bit differently this year than they have in years past, but they've been really kind of up and down. They've had their nose bloodied the last couple of weeks, so they've got to step up and play well if they want to compete. I don't know how this thing shakes out for the playoffs. I mean, I'm with you. The top two are pretty obvious, but
yes, sir.
You still got them. I mean, there you see the region standings and everybody's record so far, but there's a good football team or two that's not going to come out of this.
Well, excuse me, we finished 5th the last 3 years in our region, have not made the playoffs, but felt like we had a pretty good team, and a team that's capable of winning in the playoffs. But you're playing in this SEC Central, you kind of feel bad. And we actually lost one of those years with tiebreakers, so you scare me saying them tiebreakers. I don't like them blues. if we get there,
I can't take it back, Coach. I'm sorry.
If we lose the tiebreaker, I'm going to give you a call.
You're going to call me, huh?
Call you,
and I know you will, too.
I tell the kids, it shouldn't come down to that. You want to control your own destiny. And
if we'll get Jake to put the schedule back up, the one thing I think that is a positive for you, Coach, is I do feel like you control your destiny.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's the one thing I see in the schedule. I mean, you're going to have to go win at Piedmont. That's going to be tough.
Yes, sir.
But you got Sylvania at home, so, if you can – managed to do something good there, I mean, you're in a spot to actually win the dadgum thing.
Well, that's some big words, but we got to take them one at a time. Ohatchee's kicked us the last 3 years, so we're definitely not overlooking them. We practiced today, and I think our guys know that they're a good team, very physical, but they've lined up and whipped us the last 3 years, and so we've got to change that if we plan on winning.
How's the preparation been for your team this week?
It's been good. The weather's helped a lot. I'm sure all coaches would say that. That heat's pretty tough on us older people, but the weather's helped a lot. It is homecoming for us, and it's a scary thought when you're a head football coach. But hopefully our guys are mature enough to understand that. But it's been good. I was a little worried. You kind of have the start of the season. Everybody's excited. You go through those first 2 or 3 games, and I always feel like there's a lull that comes into play there a little bit. Everybody, the news wore off, and then it becomes more of a job, and you really have to motivate your kids to know we got to keep working to get better. And I think we have done that. And I was a little worried last week coming off White Plains, but I knew Plainview that was a game. I promise you, on our schedule, I was scared to death of Plainview game. Going up there, they don't lose many games up there, but I thought we had a really good week of practice last year, James, and then this week so far has been good, 2 days. But, got to do it on Friday night. That's the scary part.
What I saw when we came up and did the Glencoe game was it seemed like you had the kids back to the physical kind of football you like to play.
Yes, sir. I agree to that. I will. I won't try to hide that. It's something that when we've been good, it's been that way. And, I'm not a throw it and throw it all around. and do all those wild
You
things.
might wear green, but you ain't the New York Jets.
No, we're not. We're not that way. But Bryce has come on as thrower. You know, we didn't have to throw last week, and we tried to control the game on the ground and did that and control the game all the way through pretty much. But Bryce has gotten better throwing now. We will throw it, but. You know, again, you're right. You know what I like to do as a coach, and our coaches and their kids all believe in that system. And but our offense and defensive lines have played tremendous.
Well, you know, Coach Keith Etheridge told me back in 2015, I think it was, he said, Jim, if you can get 4 yards every time you touch the football, you ain't going to get beat.
You're not. That's easy to talk about, but getting it done.
Yep.
And then playing those games, you know, you're looking at TV, that's scary. I mean, it's just one game at a time right now, and I think we've done that so far. But that's a great question about, you know, where we stand mentally is the thing now, because the news wore off, like I said, and you know, now it's become a little bit of a job. You know, it's just getting out there doing it. You know, I like to stay consistent with what we do. You know, I'll make a practice schedule, and the kids all know it before I put it up on the wall. And the coaches say, why don't you put a schedule up? We know what we're going to do. But, you know, I've at times been criticized not changing. We actually, Coach Pruitt and I had some really good talks this past week. You know, Dale's been around longer than I have, and he was laughing. And actually, Jeremy, you know, is helping him.
Right.
With Jeremy, we all know what he's done. And Jeremy said, you know, I told them just put on 2001 film and you'll see what Hokes Bluff's going to do. And I said, well, I don't know if that's a compliment. But he said he pulled out, you know, they beat us the year we won state championship. And he was laughing. He said, but you are running some gun now. I'm really shocked. You're not under center all the time. I said, well, I changed a little bit. But you know, we do want to be, you know, run-oriented, play action, and play good defense. And kicking game's been pretty good, too, so I mentioned that.
Throw it when you have to.
Yes, sir.
Or when they're not looking for you to.
Yes, sir.
And nobody's ever looking for you to throw it, so you don't have to worry about that too much unless you're behind the sticks.
Behind the sticks a little bit. But like I said, our guys, I'm so proud of them. We've really stuck together. We've had good practices, no problem, knock on wood, you know. Everybody's been good at school, and, you know, it don't always happen that way now, believe it or not, Jim. You know, kids do want to do some things that's not always right. I don't know if you was that way, probably.
Coach, no, I wasn't that way.
Okay. All those things I've been told wasn't true then, okay?
But, you know, I didn't have an Xbox back then.
Yes, sir. Or a cell phone.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, all right, Coach. Talk to me a little bit about homecoming. Why do coaches hate homecoming so much? Is it just because it's such a distraction?
It is, and you break the routine, Jim. You know, they go to class. You know, when they're coming to the field house, you got your routine. And like today, I had actually went over with the mayor today, because you know the mayor.
Yeah,
had to
Scott.
We're looking at the pool, doing a little upkeep on the pools for the city. So, but got over there, and they're playing dodgeball in the gym. And, you know, I tell the players, you know, don't get too involved. And then they come to work to the field house about 12:30, 12:45, and a couple of them are sweating because they played dodgeball with their class. So little things like that, but, you know, I'll still let them. They need to enjoy homecoming, especially juniors and seniors. You know, it's getting close to the end of your time at high school, but it just gets you out of routine, to answer your question. You know, you used to them being up there, like I said, they're in class. You know where they are. Of course, we were out of school Monday. So we had to deal with that a little bit.
Coach,
yesterday.
As crazy as life is for kids these days, why are coaches still such creatures of routine? I mean, what makes it so important?
Well, that's, you know, I'll get kidded about that a lot. You know, my wife Phyllis, you know, been married. How many years we've been married? I don't remember, Jim.
A long time.
She says I'll never divorce her because I don't like to change, and I don't. I hate change. So, you know, I'm a routine guy. I think it's important that everybody knows what we're going to do, how to do it. Every once in a while I'll bend a little bit one way or another. But the kids have been great so far, 2 days. So we got 2 days down and 3 more to go.
Two more to go.
Well, 2 more, really.
Then you play.
Yes, sir.
Coach Rob, I have to know this. Is there any secret as far as keeping your playing field as pristine shape as it's in?
Well, there's a lot of things I could talk about. I don't get in trouble. Actually, right now I'm a little disappointed. I didn't fertilize it enough. I'm blaming it on Coach Morgan and Coach B-Rob, my son. They're both kind of – They're the grass guys that like to tell me, but it's a little bit spotty right now. But it's been so dry, and you know, the water we put on it is chlorinated water. And I've asked a lot of people, including Coach Morgan, Coach B-Rob there, my son. But the Lord's water is still the best. When it rains, it greens up. You know, I guess they say it's got more nitrogen in it. But it's a little spotty right now. I don't want you guys to come by there right now. But it's got a good pad. It's got a good pad, you know, and then we still have 3 home games left. And actually, our middle school was playing on it tonight. But it's in good shape. But I appreciate the comp. But I do put a lot of time in it. You know, the years we didn't win every game, I've been criticized. Said Coach Rob would coach as well as he keeps the field looking. We've been winning more games.
Well, the one thing I like about the stadium there is the fact that the bleachers are close into the field. I mean, you really get the high school atmosphere at your place.
Yes, sir. And, you know, when we put it together, I got to have a lot of input. I'll say that. I didn't want a track around it. We really didn't have a lot of space, so we really didn't have the room to do that in a way, but it gave me a reason not to do it. I do it. Our old stadium, I don't know if you remember it. You talking about right on top of it. I remember sitting in the press box when I was offensive coordinator for Coach Payne. I mean, you're looking direct down on it. This stadium's not quite that close, but I like the feel of the stadium, the stands being close to the field. I agree.
All right. Well, I've probably asked you this for 5 years now. You ever have you thought at all about when you're going to stop? I mean, what keeps you going?
Well,
what's the process?
Those guys sitting over there. Those guys right over there. Them, you know, I mean it. As long as the players want to play, and I feel like I'm doing an adequate job, I feel pretty good about it. My health, you know, if I have some bad health issues, and that limits my coaching ability. Then
you're too ornery to have health issues.
Well, no, it's not easy anymore. I'm limping out on the field now. They're making fun of me because I can't even get out there to see the injured players. But I appreciate that. I get asked that every day. You know, I don't want to be known as an old coach that can't do it. Old coach is okay because that means you got some experience. But the players, my players, I love this team so far, and I've never had a bad team. I mean that girl basketball, 23 years, baseball for actually 3 years at Southside, 16 years of baseball. I really never had a bad group when I finished the season because I always say I want to keep playing. That's a good sign. But them guys sitting right there, them 2 and all the other 58.
Well, speaking of them 2, tell us who you brought tonight so we can let James have a word here with him in a couple of minutes.
We got Anderson Morgan. He's a junior, split end, safety, wingback, sometimes could be a tailback, quarterback, does it all. He's running back all the kicks and punts. And then Dalen Reeves is our offensive tackle. They both have been starting, playing some since the 9th grade. And he's a junior. Dalen's a junior. He's played some defensive line. But two super players, but better people. They're great people.
Trust me, folks, there is only one Coach Rob.
Thank you,
Thank you for coming.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
We're going to grab a quick break. James will have the players when we come back here on FNN.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Griffin Laser Engraving in Lincoln is your authorized local dealer for personalized Yeti products. Get your Yeti customized for your team, a business, or a special event. Your color, graphics, even photos. At Griffin Laser Engraving, we make it the way you want it. Order just one or hundreds, and you'll find a full line of Yeti coolers and accessories on hand, even the hard-to-find items. Nationally recognized, but right here at home in Lincoln for quality awards, trophies, powder coating, and personalized Yeti items, Griffin Laser Engraving.
We continue on the FNN Coaches Show here at Struts Wings in Oxford. James Hardy with you, and we continue with our spotlight of Hokes Bluff High School Here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week, the Eagles will have a huge region game coming up in Class 3A Region 6 at home against Ohatchee. We got Dalen Reeves off to my right and Anderson Morgan off to my left. Big thanks for both of you for joining us.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you.
And Anderson, just kind of give us an idea as far as how your season's been going so far.
Yeah, I've been playing well. Have 4 interceptions, but, that's all credit to the defensive line, getting a good pass rush. So, yeah, I've had a fairly good season.
And same for you, Dalen. How's your season gone so far?
I think it's been good. This first year being offensive lineman, I think Coach Rob developed me well at left tackle, and I think it's been a good season so far.
So just kind of give us a further idea as far as just what's gone into that transition for you onto the offensive line.
It's hard playing a 2-year starter at defensive lineman and then going into offense. It was a little struggle at first, a little complicated, but I got it down now.
I know, Anderson, as far as when it comes to Coach Rob, he's one of our favorite coaches that we get to talk to as far as on the high school broadcasting circuit around this area of Alabama. What's it like to play for Coach Rob?
It's awesome. When you're younger, you're watching Coach Rob walk up and down the sideline. You're just like, I can't wait to do that, So it's awesome getting to see him, learning from him. So, yeah, it's great.
I know, of course, he has a storied history as far as not only the Hokes Bluff community, but the high school football coaching ranks in our great state. Is it kind of like playing for a legend?
Yeah, he is. He's in the Hall of Fame, so, yeah, he's a legend.
And then what's it like kind of playing for someone like Coach Rob that's been able to have the resume that he's had in this state?
It's amazing. He's great with the players. He's a great guy. He's so cool. He can teach a lot of different things, and like Anderson said, he's basically a legend Hall of Fame. It's really cool being coached by him.
And then, Anderson, I know you play on both sides of the ball. In fact, we got to see you return to pick 6 against one of your biggest rivals in Glencoe in the region opener, actually a big win for y'all. What's more exciting for you, scoring a touchdown, being able to score a touchdown when you can on offense, or being able to return a touchdown for, let's say, a pick 6?
There's nothing like a pick 6, It's awesome. So, yeah, any touchdown's good, but that pick 6 was awesome. Yeah, it was fun.
Now let's look ahead to this Friday night, Anderson. How big of a game is it, especially which at this point last year, that was a big game for both Ohatchee and your squad, and you just weren't able to get the W on the road. How big – is there any sort of, I guess, maybe a sense of payback that you and your teammates want to get for what happened last year?
Yeah, definitely. Last year we came off the big Plainview win, and, we were on a high. We kind of felt like we let off the gas a little bit. So, we're practicing hard this week, and, it's all for Week 11. Who wants to play in the playoffs? So.
And then, Dalen, how big of a game is it for you for this team? But also, what would a win do for this squad as far as down the stretch of the season?
Yeah, we're hot right now. Like Anderson said, want that Week 11. It's amazing playing in the playoffs. You don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, last year, had a big win over Plainview. Kind of was a little cocky. They were 0-6, came in the game, and they just beat us up front and everything. But if we get the win, it's a big win.
How's preparation and practice been this week?
Working hard. We're trying to get everything down on defense, focus on their offensive plays, and then on offense, we're just focusing and keep on repeating and doing what we do best.
Now, Anderson, what do you see as far as the potential? As far as when your team is clicking on all cylinders, what's the potential for this team?
I think we have a high ceiling. We're still getting better. We're working a few kinks. We're getting better each week. So, I think the sky's we have this high potential this year,
And then is there anything individually for you that you want to be able to accomplish before this season's out?
I just want to keep getting better. I keep wanting to playing well, maybe a few more interceptions. But, yeah, really just win games. We want to win games.
And then, Dalen, what's the message that Coach Rob is giving to you and your teammates as far as how important Ohatchee is this week?
He's telling us, you can't let what happened last year to us. This is a big game, big region game. This is for Week 11, really. But he's coaching us well. He's wanting us to win. So,
And then for both of y'all, how's the atmosphere been? Kind of give us as far as what it's like playing especially at home, as far as just the game atmosphere at Hokes Bluff?
It's awesome. You walk out and the stands are packed at 6 o'clock when you're warming up. You look over, you see the student section, your friends. So there's nothing like it. There's nothing like a home game.
Especially with a big game this week, is there, I guess, a little extra sense of anticipation for this week, especially being at home?
Yeah, homecoming. There's going to be a bunch of people. We're excited. We're really excited.
How excited are you for this week?
Pretty excited. Like you said, it's It's electric playing at home. You see your friends in the student section rooting for you. You got your parents. You got people coming in from other towns and everything coming to watch you, especially at a big game like this. Homecoming, you know, our focus on homecoming is winning the game for our school. So,
Playoff implications coming up for both Ohatchee and Hokes Bluff up in Hokes Bluff on Friday night. A big thanks to Dalen Reeves and Anderson Morgan from the Hokes Bluff Eagles for joining us. And we'll go ahead and take the time out. And we have still a lot more as far as tonight's FNN Coaches Show here from Strutt's Wings in Oxford.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Struts here in Oxford, Tuesday night FNN High School Football Coaches Show. Jim Jacobs here with two of the Big O's finest. On my left, Miss Connie Davidson, and to my right, her husband, Coach Larry Davidson, who is you're still the AD, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, and he's over at the school, and Miss Connie, of course, is here to talk about Beyond the Bleachers, the Coaches Wives Support Group. Is that? I'm going to get her first, Larry. Is that all right with you?
First. Go ahead.
All right,
That's
good
the way
deal.
it is at the house.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. Y'all were at the beach or something, I think, and it looked like you were in control.
Oh, yes. Someone has to be,
Yeah.
so, why not me?
All right. For folks that don't know, tell everybody about Beyond the Bleachers. I know it's been around for, 4 years now?
Since 2019,
And
August
you
of 2019.
missed COVID, of course. But how did all that come about, and what is the group?
Okay, so Beyond the Bleachers, we are affiliated with the Cheaha Valley Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So we're a ministry that's associated through that. We operate through a private Facebook group for coaches' wives.
Mm-hmm.
Which might sound a little funny, because social media, let's face it, that's not the best place, sometimes for a wife of a coach. But having that private group allows us to stay in touch. We offer daily words of encouragement. We do some fun things. We have some giveaways. It gives us a place to brag. It gives us a place to get those game day pictures and post those things and just, share with each other. And one of the things that we started doing in the fall of 2019, and we've been very blessed and able to continue that up until now, just missing the 1 year with COVID. In November, this year it'll be on Saturday, November 11th, we will have our 4th annual Coaches' Wives Brunch. I'm very excited about this every year.
You do that at Hubbard on Main, don't you?
We've done it all 4 years at Hubbard's off Main. They are so good to us and allow us, to come in there on Saturday, before she starts her lunch and her big crowd. We do it. It's a brunch from 10 to 12. It is a completely free event for our coaches' wives. You don't, if there are coaches' wives that are listening out there tonight and you're not a current member of Beyond the Bleachers, that's fine. You are welcome to join us with the brunch. This is just a time when we want to just cheer and love on our coaches' wives, and we have some great food. We have a speaker every year. I spoke the first 2 years. Last year, I had Katie Edwards, Coach Jameson Edwards up at Jacksonville. His wife, she delivered our message last year. And this year, I'm really excited. Hillary Ginn, Wes Ginn, out at Saks. So Hillary will be bringing our message this year. And we try to have some really good giveaways, and it's just a fun time. It falls on that weekend that's, some of us are in the playoffs, some of us are not in the playoffs. We've got basketball coaches' wives there, so we're getting ready for basketball season. It's not just a group that operates during football season. We have coaches' wives of all sports, all across the state. We're not just limited to this area.
Okay.
We actually have members that are engaged with our group outside of the state of Alabama, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, that's a little bit about what we do. We're excited about it. We'd love to be able to grow and offer something in the spring at some point that included our husbands. But right now, that's where we are, and like I said, we're just real excited that we've been able to continue and host the brunch every year.
Well, I know that obviously you're a coach's wife, and there were probably many nights you sat in the bleachers and took the wrath of what Coach Davidson caught down on the sidelines from the bleachers. It's not a thankless job, is it?
I laugh. There's a game going out that's happening on the field or on the court. But if you're sitting in the bleachers, you're surrounded by the game of opinions. That game is going on too. And it's just as much live as that game out there, with one big difference. There are no flags. There's no rules. There's no,
It's generally brutal, isn't it?
It can be. It can be. It can be. But that's part of the – unfortunately, it comes with it.
Yep.
It's just part of it.
All right. Well, we're going to hold Miss
Okay.
Connie's sign up here. Here we go. Beyond the Bleachers. Mark your calendars. November the 11th. Hubbard's off Main, downtown Oxford. Really great place if you haven't been there. And I'm sure you've got an open invitation to every coach's wives within shouting distance of watching this show to come join you.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for letting me come each year. I think this is my 3rd time.
Yeah, I think so. 3rd or 4th.
Mm-hmm. So I thank you for that, too.
Well, you're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you. It's I follow you two pretty close on the social stuff myself, and I think it's great how you're so engaged still in what he does, and he's still so engaged in what you do. I think that just speaks volumes about both of you.
I appreciate it. We're a team. I've been
but she's in charge, right, Coach?
She's the captain.
All right, let me turn to you.
All right.
Is the last brick laid?
Well, the last brick is laid, but I don't know about all the amenities yet. But, yes, we're excited to have an open house coming up this weekend. Our team is in our locker room. We still haven't got visitors over there yet, but we're excited about what the city and what our Board of Education has done for us.
From a distance, Larry, I have watched just how difficult this process has been, because obviously, coaches being creatures of habit and liking routines, You guys threw routine out the window over there, didn't you, for a couple of years?
Routine was definitely out the window, and, it took us about 3 years just to get this project done, but it's actually been going on for long. We've had several changes. We started this years ago trying to get a first-rate facility, and it's now come to fruition, and it is we feel like it's as good as any place in the state.
Talk a little bit about how all that came about and who were the key people that had hands in kind of putting all that together.
Well, the key people are the people of Oxford. The people of Oxford, our Board of Education, our City Council, everybody involved. We always say we're a 6A school with a 1A mentality, and in that 1A mentality, we talk about how important each individual piece is. So, as far as individuals making it happen, it was a total team effort, total group effort, and it's still going on. And, this Sunday, October the 15th, we're going to have an open house to the public and let people come in and see what they've done.
All right, what's the time frame for all that, Larry, for anybody that might want to come Sunday?
Right, so Sunday, October the 15th at 1:30, we're going to have a private fellowship with the people we're honoring, and then at 2:30 we're going to open it up to the public, and at 3 we'll have a presentation, and then after the presentation at 3:30 we'll have open tours. What we've done in the facility, those invited guests I'm talking about. So I'll just start with the bottom floor of the facility. It's a two-story facility, and we're the indoor practice facility, a 45-yard indoor practice facility, is going to be named after Coach Bill Burgess and Coach Robert Herring, and it's going to be the Bill Burgess Robert Herring indoor practice facility in their honor. And then we have a 96-seat team room that's going to be named after Coach Jack Grizzard, be the Coach Jack Grizzard team room. And then in our medical facility, our old field house that we tore down was named after Dr. Lett.
Right.
James H. Lett, longtime team doctor for 33 years. And so the medical facility is going to be the James H. Lett Medical Facility. So we feel like we want to honor those people, not only our coaches and Dr. Lett that worked, with our team. They were such outstanding members of the community. And Coach Herring and Coach Grizzard and Coach Burgess, they not only affected players, but they affected coaches. They affected the people of the community, and their effect is still being seen those days. So
absolutely,
that's we want to honor those people, and that's what it's all about.
Now, Miss Connie, you told me, because only a woman could have this approach to it. You told me it was beyond breathtaking.
It is.
That everybody expects nice because Oxford's always first class, but this thing is a step beyond nice.
When you drive down, you come through Oxford and you look over there, people, because we hear all the time, people that aren't from here that are coming through, when they realize that is a high school.
Oh yeah, most people think it's a college.
They're taken aback a little bit, and I think that same reaction is going to be. People have seen the outside. They know it's nice. They've heard it's nice, and they've probably seen some pictures because there's some photos floating around. But not until you actually are in there, and I think the reality of it hits, it's really something to see. We are beyond blessed, and we are very proud of what we have to offer here.
Now, we'll add this, Jim. It's not just a football facility.
Right.
It's not, it's an athletic. It's Champions Athletic Center.
Well, I've seen some pictures from the weight room, and as a coach, weight work affects every sporting team in the program.
Right. But also, we've had the bottom floor. If you go through the indoor facility. Attached to the indoor facility is another multi-purpose room that's turfed, that our wrestling team, that'll be their practice facility. We'll have batting cages for baseball and softball in there. There's 2 locker rooms. Our soccer team will have a locker room in there in the spring. There's a male and female locker room in there, male and female office. And then, of course, when you leave out of the indoor facility, you've got the huge weight room. We can work over 100 people in the weight room, and it's got every bell and gadget. There's still things on there that I don't know how to even work yet. But you can walk straight out from the weight room right onto the indoor facility. Also on the bottom floor is the home team locker room. We'll have a wall of champions where we're going to have graphics and stuff built up, trophy case where we'll honor all of our past state championship. I mentioned the Jack Grizzard team room, a tiered team room that has all the bells and whistles in it. When you go upstairs, there's offices, the coaches' offices, and the coaches' offices have a patio that overlooks the indoor practice facility, so you can step out there.
Yeah, I've tried to talk to Coach Adams about renting that from him. I hadn't called me back yet.
Well, and I'm telling you, that's part of the plan. We have some meeting rooms in there. There's several. We do our corporate hospitality up there. We have some meeting rooms up there. There'll be a cheer dressing room up there. There'll be another multi-purpose room, and part of the plan is somebody wants to come out and rent those rooms, they'll be available in the future.
That's just great. I mean, to me, Larry, the thing I like about it the most is the way the dadgum thing looks from the field. Well, I mean, it's just so impressive.
The architects and, Mr. Burridge, Eric Burridge, who started this project years ago, did a great job of making it all blend in. Everything looks the same. And, when you drive down Highway 78, you see that Oxford Yellow Jackets on the wall. It sort of horseshoes our end zone. So, it's a state-of-the-art facility. And like I said, we're much blessed to be in it.
Well, don't forget now, if you haven't seen it, Sunday's your day. Come out 2:30, right?
2:30 Sunday, open to the public.
Come out and tour the facility, and I'm sure you'll be there.
I'll be there.
Are you making cake or something?
Well, ordinarily I would, but we are going to be
I bet you're catering it, obviously.
Well, it is catered, but we were going to be gone to we have a wedding out of town this weekend, so we're going to be rushing back.
I hear you.
Sunday, so that kind of tabled me being able to make Mississippi Mud for this event.
All right, well, listen, thank you both for coming. Best of luck on the 11th, and, Coach, hopefully we'll get to see you again Sunday.
I hope to see you Sunday, Jim. And again, I want to say thank you to FNN. You told me right before this you started in 2011.
Yes, sir.
A great thing for high school sports and high school coaches and players around here. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach. That means a lot coming from you. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, our special, last-second guest, but I don't think they mind being here because they've got a county trophy with them that they won last night. We're talking about the Pleasant Valley Lady Raiders, and we'll get to them next here on FNN. Stay with us.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, well, we're making last-second adjustments here, you know. I mean, it's live TV. Come on. We are at Struts Wings here in Oxford, the Tuesday night FNN High School Football Coaches Show. Jim Jacobs, James Hardy to my right, and to my left, let's try this on. The Calhoun County Tournament Volleyball Champion head coach, Dana Bryant. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Does it sound pretty good?
I like it.
All right. Boy, I tell you what I know about volleyball, you can put in that tea glass over there. But I want to learn. James says he can call it. I mean, he's done it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he knows more about it than I do. But from what I understand and what I've read, you guys had a rough path to winning this title. I mean, you had to come back from 2 sets down in the semifinals and then 2 sets down in the finals. Talk about all that just a little bit.
Well, we called it the path of slaying the giants because Alexandria and Oxford are 2 phenomenal programs in the county. And so throughout the season, we've played them. We've played Alexandria twice. We played Oxford twice. And they have beat us twice. And so going into the county tournament, we were the underdogs. But the girls were determined, and both games started out the same way, 0-2. And they found it. They mustered it up. They got the perseverance, the want to, and the heart to pull out the next 3.
Where did that motivation come from? What did you say to them that brought them to this? Because obviously you have a very successful track record. I mean, you know, I don't want people to think that this was an accident that Pleasant Valley won this tournament, because it's really not. I mean, you've got multiple area titles. You've been to the finals. What is it? 8 times? 4 times? Been to the Final Four. I know 4 times. Mm-hmm. And been to the finals twice, finished second twice.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know what it takes to do this.
Yeah. I've had some very skilled teams in my years of coaching, but what I have found is skill is never enough. You've got to have the heart. You've got to have the chemistry. And these girls, they had all of that. They love each other. They love the game. They play for each other. They're not playing for themselves. And they had something to prove this year. So, you know, it was just a combination that worked.
Talk about the journey for your team this season, how you've seen your squad grow over the course of the season.
Okay, so we have some young players. Ellie is in the 9th grade. I've got Madison and Ella and Kaylee, who are 10th graders. And then Lily, you'll see tonight, is a junior. And then my 3 seniors are Maddie, Schwabi Alley, and Maddie Hay. I've got 3 Maddies on the team. So,
but now the young lady that got the MVP award at the county, she's been injured. Is that correct?
Well, that's the way the season started. We started off, we had split with Alexandria and Lawrence County. We went into the tournament play. Things were just running very smoothly. They were looking so much better than we even ended last year. Between the summer camps, all of the practices, the workouts, everything that they had done over the summer and before the season started, it just, they had grown exponentially in their skill. And then our setter, Maddie Schwabi, phenomenal setter. She went out. She was warming up.
Time out.
Okay.
What's a setter?
Basically,
a server.
She takes every second touch on the ball.
Every second touch on the ball.
Sets up your outside hitters.
Yes. So you got a court full of players that are digging it up, passing it up, and she sets every second touch. That's her job.
So she's the one that gets it up so somebody can go up and spike it.
Yes, and she decides where it's going to go, who's going to. She's like the quarterback of the football team.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Got to dish it around.
Like a point guard on the basketball court.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, good deal. Well, I know what a setter is now, so I'm ahead of where I was when we started.
There you go. You learned something tonight.
I did. Well, I expected to learn a lot tonight. You're going to retire at the end of this year. I mean, you've been doing this, 18 seasons now? Is that right?
For varsity.
For
I've been
varsity.
coaching 25.
Wow. Okay. So When did you decide you were going to give it up, and what brought you to that? I mean, because I know coaching is it's just a passionate thing with these kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a huge part of my life. But I just, you always hear that when the time is right, you're going to know.
Right.
And I knew. I've had a very blessed life, but I've had a very full life. And I just feel like it's time for me to change speeds, change directions a little bit. I love what I do, but I just know that it's time.
Now, how hard is it going to be for you to next season set up in the stands and watch your daughter play and not be a coach?
I think I'm going to love it. I finally get to be in those mom shoes that I get to see everybody else in, but I've never got to really walk in them. So I'm going to be the one bringing the snacks for the teams and the drinks. I get to be that person now.
How rewarding is it for you personally to be able to win a county championship knowing that this is basically your swan song as far as your coaching career?
I mean, it just makes it even more sweet. It's this was the goal. The girls did very well last season. We finished runner-up in state, but we just fell short. It seems like county area, it was just one game short, and so for us to overcome and finally get past that threshold and make it into that championship and finish strong, yeah, that was sweet.
But there's no time to revel in the success because doesn't the area begin next week?
Yes.
And I'm sure that you've got aspirations of getting back to state.
Absolutely. We have area on October the 17th, and then the next week we will jump into regionals, and then stay to be the week after that.
Great. All right. Well, tell us about the young ladies you brought with us tonight. We're going to let James visit with them here in just a couple of minutes, but we've got something we want to do for you first. But tell us about the young ladies you brought with you tonight.
Okay, so I brought Allie Bryant. She's my daughter.
Yeah.
I've got 3 daughters, and I've coached all 3 of them.
Right. Now, don't your other daughters help you coach? I know one of them does, I think. Or do they both?
Yeah, well, it's Anna is my middle daughter. She's 22, and she contributes a lot during the season. Ashley, she's actually been off in Wisconsin. She actually is a travel nurse, so she got to come back.
Okay.
And she has actually been a part of this season, coming to practices and helping here and there. So it's been it's been nice.
And then, of course, your youngest daughter, I guess, here.
Yes.
That's playing. All right. And the other young ladies.
All right, so Lily Henry, she's my middle hitter. She's a junior. And then Maddie Hayes, she's a senior. She's my libero.
She's your what?
Libero.
It's a defensive specialist.
Yes.
What does a defensive specialist do? I mean, it's not like you can go across the net and tackle somebody.
No, she is her responsibility to dig up everything that comes on the back row.
Okay. I got to see this to believe it. But okay.
She actually wears a different color jersey than everybody else.
Really?
That's right. She doesn't have to sub in and out of the game. She can just run on the court for anybody on the back row, and they run off.
Really? So, even during play?
Well, it has to be a dead ball.
It has to be a dead ball. Okay. I told you, I've got a lot to learn.
You do.
All right, Coach. We are going to break with tradition tonight. This is something that we've never done before, and I believe this is our 5th year of doing this show. We normally, each week during the Tuesday Coaches Show, award a Player of the Week. Well, we're going to break tradition tonight because we think out of all the things that happened this past week, nobody deserves this more than you do. So congratulations on being named this week's FNN Player of the Week.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
It just hit me like a rock after I saw that you guys had won the thing, and then I read about you retiring and everything, and I'm like, we got to do this. This makes a lot of sense. So congratulations. Find a nice place for it, and a little keepsake from your last year and a special little run through the county.
It is. It is. Thank you. That's very sweet.
All right. Well, congratulations to Coach Dana Bryant. We're going to take one more break, and then James is going to come back with the ladies from the Pleasant Valley Volleyball team, and we'll get that for you straight ahead right here on FNN. Stay with us.
Advantage Tire and Alignment on Highway 202 in Anniston is so much more than just a new tire and rim shop. There's not enough time in this ad to tell you all the many things they can do to help keep your car in tip-top shape. Advantage Tire uses ASE certified technicians, so you know any work done is top-notch. Bottom line, if it needs repaired or replaced, they can probably do the job and save you money. And when it comes time for new or used tires and rims, Advantage Tire and Alignment prices just can't be beat. Stop in and see Bruce and the crew today. Advantage Tire and Alignment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
A lot of people always wonder, how does your first-time buyers program work? Hey, I'm here to tell you that we do bad credit, good credit, even no credit at all. I even got down payments as low as $500, even got cards as low as $169 a month. So stop by, let's check it out. Let's see if we can get you approved today. Come by at 411 East Street North, Talladega, Alabama, 35160. Telephone number 205-332-7993. Let's come get you a bill deal.
Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Miller Funeral Home is committed to providing families with the finest services for their loved ones, including our newest service, Aquamation. Aquamation is a gentle, respectful, and eco-friendly alternative to flame cremation. Miller Funeral Home is the only facility in the state of Alabama that offers the Aquamation service. Call us or visit our website today to learn more about how we can serve you and your loved ones.
Coming down the home stretch of the FNN Coaches Show for this Tuesday evening from Strut Swings here in Oxford. James Hardy with you, as we'll have a trio of ladies from the Pleasant Valley Calhoun County champion as far as the Calhoun County tournament this past week. Maddie Hay off to my left, Lily Henry, and Allie Bryant with us. A big thanks for all of you for joining us. And so let's start with Maddie. Just kind of describe just the journey that this season has taken you on so far.
It's been a great season. It's been amazing. We have come so far from where we first started. It's been great.
And then Lily, just kind of give us a further idea as far as just the journey for the team this season, where y'all started off at, some of the goals, and just how rewarding it was to be able to come out with a county championship.
Well, at the end of the season last year, we were like, we're just going to try to get a step further. And the goal set, instead of like just coming short on everything, we're going to try to take a step ahead and win everything. And we just kind of stepped it up in county, and we were like, losing's not an option. So we just kind of pushed forward through that.
And then, Lily, describe as far as the competition, as far as the county, just within the county that y'all faced this past week.
Well, it's not really nothing new. We've played Oxford and Alexandria in the past, so it was like it's just another obstacle we have to face to get past it, just another game, and just work as hard as usual and play normal. And then, Maddie, describe as far as the confidence that it gives for all of you as far as being not only winning against really good competition within the county, but what it does as far as the rest of the postseason. Well, we've done it, and we know that we can do it. We just have to keep believing in ourselves to make sure that we really struggle believing that we can get it done. Like, we can do it, but sometimes we don't have, like, the belief in ourselves. So this gives us that confidence going into playoff season that we have the ability to do it. We just have to keep pushing forward. And then I want to get Allie in here with us, let her get a few words in. And Allie, just kind of describe how's the season been for you and just how proud of you are as far as what this team has been able to accomplish so far.
Honestly, this season has been just amazing. Just it makes it even more sweeter just because it's my senior year and it's our senior year, and just as a senior and my mom's retiring, so it just makes it sweeter and bittersweet, and it's just like to cherish the moments that you don't really realize how like fast time, like when people say to cherish the time, like don't take it for granted, just being in this position just like makes you realize like how fast time does fly.
And just what's it been like for you to be able to be not only as far as be able to play for Pleasant Valley, but especially to be able to play for one of your very own when it comes to your mother as the head coach?
It's good.
So I guess just how special is it as well as far as just for you to be, for your team to be able to take a county championship, and still a lot to go as far as the postseason, especially with your mother having her final season as the head coach?
Yeah, it's honestly just great just to like believe in ourselves and just to play with our heart. We just like when you play with your heart, it just makes such a big difference, and just to play for each other, because it's not, we don't play for ourselves, but when we play for each other and we have that team chemistry, it just makes such a big difference.
And then, Maddie, how's just the chemistry, or I guess even the camaraderie, been as far as just playing with each other this year?
We are a family. Like, that's the only way that I can think to describe it. Like, we all get along great. We're all a family. We all love each other. It's been a great season in that way.
Has there been, I guess, any sort of theme when it comes to, is there any sort of theme that maybe y'all have been centered around as far as for this team for this year?
Not really. Mostly just, like, playing for each other. Like, we do this for each other.
And then, Allie, how far can this team go in postseason play?
I believe that we can just take it all the way, like just take the blue home. Yeah.
And then I want to get Lily back in as far as maybe one more question for her. And as far as, is there anything else, as far as not only, obviously y'all want to be able to take a blue map home, but is there anything that you want to be able to accomplish before this season comes to an end?
I just want our team to be able to like know and accomplish how we can do things, and how we've had a motto throughout the season to work harder and want it more, and not just only take on the play. I want people to know that how much of a hard-working team Pleasant Valley is and how much we want it.
How excited are y'all for the rest of the postseason?
Oh, we're excited because we know how far we can go, so really excited.
And then same question to you, Maddie. How excited are y'all as far as just for the rest of the postseason?
We're so excited going into the postseason. We're ready to play.
And then obviously the last season for your head coach, for Coach Bryant, what's it been like to play under her?
It's great playing under her. She's an amazing coach. I couldn't ask for a better coach for my senior season.
Still a lot more volleyball to go as far as Pleasant Valley is concerned, already taking home the crown when it comes to the Calhoun County Championship, but still maybe a few more steps to go as far as their journey in the postseason. So we've had quite an interesting show this evening. A big thanks to our couple of officials that we had from the East Alabama Officials Association, as well as our Hokes Bluff Eagles spotlight moment earlier this evening when it comes to Coach Rob, one of our favorite coaches on the football scene around this part of Alabama we get to talk to, as well as a couple of his players, an Oxford athletics spotlight as well, and, of course, featuring the Pleasant Valley Calhoun County volleyball champions for 2023, and their season really in a lot of ways is just beginning. And we remind you that our game of the week on Friday night will be up in Gadsden, a return trip to Gadsden, as Coosa Christian will host Cedar Bluff for Class 1A Region 7 action. A big thanks Jim Jacobs, as well as the rest of our FNN crew. James Hardy signing off. Our countdown to kickoff begins at 6:30 on Friday. This has been the FNN Coaches Show from Struts Wings in Oxford.